Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when you must decide, do I live for the approval of people, or do I live for the fulfillment of purpose? Too many of us are trapped in the cycle of explaining, justifying, and defending every move we make. Every decision you take, somebody demands a reason. Every boundary you set, somebody wants an explanation. But let me tell you today, the need to explain is the need for permission. And destiny does not wait for permission. When you explain yourself too much, you give away power. Silence confuses critics and strengthens conviction. Sometimes the greatest answer is to say nothing at all and let your life be the response. You are not a prisoner of other people's opinions. You were not designed to fit into everyone's understanding. Some people will never get you because they're not assigned to you. Stop trying to make them understand your journey. Walk away without warning. Your purpose is too valuable to be wasted in endless conversations with those who have no intention of supporting you. Explanation invites debate. Debate invites doubt. Doubt delays destiny. Protect your purpose. Protect your peace. When you stop explaining, your actions become your testimony. Your consistency, your fruit, your results, these will speak far louder than your words. People may not understand your silence, but they cannot deny your results. Wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. There is dignity in walking away. There is honor in refusing to be dragged into unnecessary conversations. Walking away without warning is not weakness, it is wisdom. Explanations drain your emotional energy. They pull you into cycles of frustration. When you stop explaining, you preserve your energy for what truly matters. Your growth, your assignment, your vision. When you walk away without a word, you communicate strength. You show others that your life is not up for negotiation. People respect boundaries they cannot break. Respect is not demanded, it is commanded by your discipline. Sometimes God removes you from conversations, rooms, or relationships, not because you owe an explanation, but because He is shifting you into alignment. Walking away creates space for new doors to open. Don't explain, just move. My friend, remember this. Not everyone deserves access to your reasoning. Not everyone deserves the privilege of your explanation. When you know who you are and where you are going, you don't beg to be understood. So the next time they demand an explanation, smile and walk away. Not because you are arrogant, but because you are aligned. Not because you are rude, but because you are rooted. Not because you are weak, but because you are wise. Stop explaining yourself. Walk away without warning. And let your life, your fruit, and your destiny speak louder than words ever could. The power of silence is one of the greatest strengths you can ever carry in life. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It is the language of wisdom, the shield of the mature, and the secret weapon of the strong. When you master silence, you master control. Not over others, but over yourself. Silence disciplines your emotions, it guards your energy, and it confuses your enemies. You see, silence does what explanations cannot do. When you try to explain yourself, you invite argument. When you remain silent, you leave no room for debate. Explanations can be twisted, misunderstood, or rejected, but silence cannot be manipulated. It simply stands as it is. Some people expect your reaction. They feed on your words. They want to drag you into endless justification. But when you remain silent, you deny them the power to control your spirit. There is a time to speak, but there's also a time when silence carries more authority than any words. Silence says, I don't need your approval to be secure. Silence says, I don't argue with what is beneath me. Silence says, I trust that the truth will reveal itself without my defense. When you learn the discipline of silence, you begin to operate at a higher level of strength because your value is no longer tied to convincing people. Silence protects your vision. When you are quiet, people don't know your next move, and that becomes your advantage. Destiny requires discretion, and not everyone deserves to know the details of your journey. The seed grows underground in silence before it is seen above the soil. In the same way, your greatest progress often happens in the quiet seasons where no explanations are given, yet everything is aligning. The power of a silence is a power of peace. It keeps your heart from unnecessary wars. It shields your mind from wasted energy. It gives you the ability to walk away without warning, knowing that you don't have to justify every step. The loudest evidence of your decisions will always be the fruit they produce, not the explanations you give. Stop seeking approval. Because the moment you live for the applause of people, you become a slave to their opinions. Approval is a moving target. Today they cheer you, tomorrow they criticize you, and if your identity depends on their reaction, you will never know peace. You cannot fulfill purpose while trying to be understood by everyone, because some people will never see your vision, not because it is wrong, but because it was not given to them. What God places in your heart does not need the stamp of human validation to be real. When you chase approval, you start to compromise. You water down your convictions so others won't feel uncomfortable. You delay your progress because you are waiting for someone to say, yes, you are doing the right thing. But approval seeking is a trap. It conditions you to doubt yourself every time someone disagrees with you. The truth is, not everyone is meant to agree with you because not everyone is assigned to your journey. The voices that try to keep you small are often the ones threatened by your growth. Stop explaining, stop justifying, stop begging for people to understand. You don't need them to sign off on your dream. You don't need them to endorse your decision to protect your peace. Approval will never be enough because people change, but purpose does not. When you break free from the need to be accepted, you rise into a place of clarity and freedom. That is where strength is born. The moment you realize that your value is not measured by applause, but by alignment with destiny. Discernment of energy is the ability to recognize what drains you and what builds you, who pushes you forward and who quietly pulls you back. Not everyone who smiles at you carries good intentions, and not every hand that reaches for you is meant to hold you up. Energy does not lie. People may say the right words, but their presence, their actions, and their spirit will always reveal the truth. If you lack discernment, you will give access to those who don't deserve it, and you will spend your strength trying to explain yourself to hearts that were never open in the first place. Every conversation you engage in, every environment you step into is either adding to your peace or subtracting from it. Discernment teaches you to recognize when the atmosphere is wrong, when the words being spoken are not for your growth, and when the company you keep is not aligned with your future. Some people carry heaviness, some carry confusion, some carry jealousy, and if you are not careful, you will absorb what they release. That is why you must guard your energy as you guard your purpose, because wasted energy means delayed destiny.